Friends, Betrayal, and How Karma Prevailed. Long. Oh boy, this is gonna be a long one, sweet and bitter, so get comfortable fellas, cause I'm about to take you on a ride. There is gonna be a lengthy backstory, but trust me, it is important to establish how tight of a bond we had and how earth-shattered I initially felt. For obvious reasons, names of those involved will be changed. So I've known this guy John since the summer of 2009. Funnily enough, our parents met by accident right by our building's pool, and over the course of I'd say a year we became super close. I still remember when on the second day of knowing John, he came over to my place, and at the time Wolverine X-Men game has just come out and we both played the shit out of it. We have really connected for our love for gaming and horror movies. As 2009 came to an end and spring of 2010 was approaching, our parents decided to move to another country in which we had an apartment since 2008. And my mom has convinced John's parents to do the same thing. We traveled there in spring of 2010 to do the entrance exams in several schools, and we have both got into several ones. Finally, we have settled to be in this one school together, and since he was a year older with me, he was a year higher. I truly believe that the true age for games was between 2010 and 2016, as over the next 9 months until the summer of 2011 we would literally hang outside of the school non-stop. Literally every single week on the last day of school week, we would come home. He lived literally 3 minutes by walking in a nearby building, drop our things, take a quick shower and head out to the mall to watch a movie, and then head over to the arcade while stuffing our faces with junk food. The glory days. Funnily enough, he was the person who got me into World of Warcraft, and at first I thought the game was dog's hit, but boy oh boy was I later addicted to it for years to come. Arcane mages all the way. Yes, I know, one button rotation, deal with it plebs XD. So another year goes by, and around mid-2012 John had really picked DJing as a hobby. That was the year I believe a new Launchpad was released and he was just obsessed over it. Come fall 2013, and that's where initial cracks in his life really began to be obvious and on a full-out display. John decided not to proceed further in high school and instead opted to do a bachelor's in audio engineering, and y'all be surprised at that time, and if it's applicable today, you didn't need a high school education to enroll into this major. Within 2 years you'd have your bachelor's done and dusted, but again, how useful was it, right? The next 2 years are just really a blur. At that point he is a 17-year-old who is DJing at high school house parties, pouring gallons of vodka into himself every time he is out, and I mean literally gallons. He never drank beer, only hard liquor, and over the course of the end of 2013, 2014 and 2015 we rarely saw each other. He was drinking, fucking and committing every possible sin you can name under the sun. Now this is the part of the story that is the inception to everything. You'll understand the relevance of it later. The year is 2015, September to be precise. It is my last year in high school. Testosterone is rushing, hormones kicking in, the usual routine. For whatever reasons, why the year below had a lot of Italian girls that had their own clique, and one of them was a new girl who just joined school. We'll call her Georgia. Now Georgia was stunning, truthfully, and I vividly remember the day we met, December 13th, 2015. It was a Saturday weekend. I got invited over to hang out with my friends in the biggest mall in town, and long behold, who was there? The Italian mafiosos, Hot Chicks edition. Long story short, within about 2 weeks we start seeing each other, and right before our winter break we decide to become official. Now fellas, I'm about to drop the best guide on how to ghost your girlfriend in high school, because this shit is about to take a turn XD. In April of 2015 I really got into MTG Magic the Gathering, and when my GF was on her winter break in Italy, I have found a card shop in my town and joined the local MTG community, and here is the kicker: over the 3 weeks vacation I have not texted her once, except for Christmas and NYE wishes. I know, first high school love, dumb decisions, I take all of the responsibilities. Long story short, she broke up with me. Now the year is 2016, I've started my bachelor's, life is going great, and I happen to see on FB that Georgia is dating John now. Since we all went to the same high school parties, gatherings, etc., I wasn't surprised, nor was I pissed, as I'm the kind of person who moves on super quickly. Up until mid-late 2020, I haven't seen John at all, and I mean literally at all. And I should mention that within that 4-year period he had blocked me on Insta for whatever reason, which will be revealed as we go on. So I find him by accident via my second Insta account, and I tell him, "Yo bro, it's me, I've noticed you blocked me." So he downplayed it with, "Yo man, I didn't even realize that I blocked ya." I mean, years had passed, so who knows, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Over the course of a year and a half we are back to hanging out like back in a good old days, and somewhere towards the end of 2020 we both have decided to stream on Twitch, and as a good friend I had supported him, always being engaged in his streams and so forth, and I found out that his long-distance girlfriend was there as well. Let's call her Katie. We all start chatting on a regular basis, had our own WhatsApp group where we would share silly memes, etc. At a time Katie was a nurse in the UK, and one day she texts that she wants to surprise visit John to our town and asks if I can help to set it up. I say sure thing, so me and John go to the beach bar together on a Thursday night, and then as we are drinking beers, Katie texts me saying she is here, so I excused myself under the premise of using the bathroom and went up to meet her. And as we are walking back, I tell her to wait right behind the corner from where our table can easily be seen. I sit back down, call her over, and John is stunned. Literally to the point where he doesn't even get out of his chair to properly hug ya. Me and Katie are all smiles, and I'm genuinely happy for John at that point. We relocate to another bar, and at one point I excuse myself as I had work the next day. That all happens in April 2021. Fast forward till about the end of July, life is great, work's going well, come August 1st, and now this is where shit goes down hard. For whatever reason, I woke up at 6:45 a.m. on a Sunday, and there are several text messages from Katie saying, check up on John to make sure he is okay. Then I proceed to call Katie expecting it to be a quick call. We ended up talking for just over 3 hours, and I couldn't believe the revelations that she had dropped on me. As I have mentioned, John has tried to break out into the big music scene and be a pro DJ. Whatever the fuck that means. However, what you also have to know about it is that he is a notorious exaggerator and unfortunately at times a compulsive liar, which will be evident right now. Katie has told me that he kept complaining to her how he is stuck in the loop, how his life sucks right now, even though at a time he lived with his mom, stepdad, and his little sister, didn't have to pay rent, and would always come home to a home-cooked meal and a clean bed. He would just barely cut his arms sideways, and as the old phrase goes, sideways for attention, long ways for results. He tried to get attention for her by making her feel responsible for his miseries, and that she had to save him from his make-believe life. Furthermore, the PS5 that he used to stream from was purchased with her money. She has sent me texts where he claimed that if he hadn't gotten it he would kill himself. And that was during the worldwide PS5 shortage back in 2020, so she has sent him a lot of money and he only paid her back when she said, John the First need the fucking money back. Just so I don't forget, the same night I went back home and left them at the bar. The second I left he accused her of fucking me, because she didn't tell him she was in town, and he viewed this surprise as betrayal. Finally, here is the ultimate betrayal and the reason behind the Instablock. He told Katie years back that I have sexually assaulted Georgia, and that he came to the rescue like a knight in the shining armor. Apparently punched me in the face and rescued her from me, and during that period he had blocked me on Insta. None of that has ever happened. I was just floored. FYI, we are both 6 feet 3 inches tall. However, he weighs 176 pounds and I weigh 230, and have been boxing for over 15 plus years at that point since I was a kid, and has several experiences in multiple contact sports. So if we ever were to come to a brawl it would be lights out for him, but I digress. The most hilarious thing was the reason behind John's and Georgia's split, and that was when she was to graduate HS, she already knew that she is gonna move to the UK for college, and he wanted to move in with her. However, her dad said, no fucking way. In addition to further certify him as professional leech, in months prior John has been rumbling about how before the end of the year he would move to the UK and live in Katie's place, and she had told me that he said that, I'm gonna be applying to all top nightclubs in the country so I can DJ and I will also stream. All the while that meant that she literally had support him as well, a fucking 25-year-old grown-ass man who had nothing to show for himself. To add more fuel into the fire, he would always tell and complain to her how I was an energy drainer and that I wasn't always available. Keep in mind I had a full-time job 5 days a week, boxing practices 3 times a week, and a gridiron practice once a week, while he was jobless, playing video games and doing fuck all. I have decided to spare my sanity and have simply blocked him everywhere and never contacted him again. Never confronted him and never will. I move past things real quick, and that's a trait of mine that I have come to cherish as I got older. As for Katie and I, we kept talking over the period of several months until she came back to our town to visit her family. During out texts we got more personal and flirty, and when we met within the first 5 minutes we had one of the most passionate kisses I ever had. Shortly after we have become a couple, and last year I got a job offer in the UK, so I moved there and proposed to Katie to move in together in this upper-scale neighborhood. She agreed instantly. It's been just over a year now since we've been living together. Life is going great. I'm increasing my income, and she is doing great at her job as well. We love each other, and within the next 5 years we are planning to have a family. It sucks that a 12 years of a friendship went out the window, since we had the best experiences together. But I guess the universe has its way of replacing toxic individual from your life with those who you'll love and cherish forever.